Robert Kraft, notorious sex criminal who was not prosecuted for his illicit activities. Owner of the New England Patriots. Go Seahawks, by the way. That Robert Kraft. Robert Rub and Tug Kraft is coming out with a whopper of an ad to combat anti-Semitism. Let's take a look.
Loser. Dude.
Did you see that? Should we tell him? So bad.
Oh, bro, look at him. Oh my gosh.
It's not funny. Stop.
Do not listen to that.
Why did he put a blue Post-it on it instead of just ripping the Post-it off? Hey, yo, do not listen to them. Just take the Post-it off. This is, oh my God.
Do not listen to that.
Thank you, man.
I know how it feels.
No. 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 No, this is so much worse than timeout. No. I know how it feels. Okay, white hands made this ad. I'm sorry. Black hands did not touch this ad. On Black History Month? On Black History Month? Of all months, you made this on Black History Month? You got to add comparing systemic racism that black people experience in the United States of America after 400 years of chattel slavery, rape, torture, ethnic cleansing, and its contemporary wounds that have yet to heal. You are comparing it to like individual acts that are anti-Semitic, but like individual acts of bullying and harassment. You want to know why I know white hands made this? Because only white people think like, oh, saying the N-word is just like hurting a black person's feelings. Like anti-black racism is infinitely more complex and infinitely more damaging because it happens at the systemic level. It's not just about racism hurting a black person's feelings because like they were discriminated against as an individual in that very moment. It's not bullying. Bullying can happen as a part of the racism that black people experience, but is very much lower on the totem pole of systemic harm that black people experience in general. That is crazy. Yeah, before he opens the locker, it looks like the kid's being bullied for being white. Yeah. There is no world where your Jewish name causes you to be overlooked for job opportunities in contemporary American history. Now, did it happen in the past? Certainly. Could it happen in the future? Maybe. Is it happening now? No. There is no world where your Jewish existence implies that you are more likely to go to prison, implies that you are more likely to be disproportionately targeted by the police, that you are more likely to get harsher sentences for the same crimes that non-Jews commit. If you have the audacity to compare anti-Semitic attacks to the systemic racism that black people experience on top of the anti-black harassment that they receive, a more equivalent example of systemic harm experienced by Jewish people would be not being able to get Passover and other religious holidays off on the explicit basis of it being a Jewish holiday, but that's too nuanced for some. While Jews have been historically marginalized, undermined, and have been the recipient of unlimited amounts of pain, death, and destruction all the way up until the Holocaust, Jews as an ethnic group or an ethno-religious group in this country have, through incredible amounts of hard work, overcome that oppression, and on top of that, are by and large doing fairly well. This doesn't mean that like all Jews are doing all right. This doesn't mean that all Jews are rich or whatever. But like the systemic racism that Jews experience is literally not comparable to black and brown people to Muslims in this country. You are out of your mind. This is something that is very important to identify, okay? Like, that's crazy. This is embarrassing. This is an embarrassment. I'm sorry. You are crying like a baby. What are we doing? Anti-Semitism is still the only institutionally stigmatized form of bigotry in this country that remains, okay? I'm not going to say that's a bad thing necessarily, because all bigotry is bad and wrong. Even the Jewish Daily Forward thinks this ad sucks. Robert Kraft's new Super Bowl ad about anti-Semitism already feels dated. If it was meant for the kids, they will laugh at how alien and out of touch it seems, writes PJ Grizzar. Even the Tablet magazine's editor at large hated this ad, but it's because he's even more unhinged.
Nah. They're not worth it, bro.
Yeah, you're right. I was tripping.
What's your name?
Name's Dave.
David?
Yeah.
Allow.
Did he say Bilal? Ain't no fucking way these motherfuckers also made him a black Muslim too on top of it. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Brother, come on, dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't know. Oh my Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. I cannot believe it. Did he say Bilal? They just hit the double Monty. I didn't even know that they could do that. I didn't know that they could do that. Flag on the play. I thought they were just being disrespectful to black people. Turns out they were doing a double play here. God damn.
Dave.
David?
Yeah.
Allow.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Also, as Jonathan Greenblatt has famously pointed to, when you say Jew hate or when you say stand up to Jewish hate, people in the United States of America think you're talking about standing up to Jews who are being hateful, which makes this even funnier. That's right. They polled this. They polled the term stand up to Jewish hate. And many Americans, when they hear that, think, oh, yeah, you're right. We should stand up to Jews being hateful. That's what they think. Now, obviously, the large majority of Jewish Americans are normal ass people. They're very kind people. They're normal people just like everybody else, just like the non-Jews are. Okay. But one must ask the question, why the average American automatically assumes when someone says stand up to Jew hatred or stand up to Jewish hate, why do they think it's the Jewish people that are being hateful? I know why. It's because of Israel. I'm standing up to Jew hatred. You can tell this was financed by boomer billionaires because this is not what school-age anti-Semitism looks like in 2026. Oh, yeah, there's also that aspect, too. Like, the whole Dirty Jew posted is so funny because, like, I think anti-Semitism has evolved dramatically since, like, someone writing Dirty Jew on a post-it and then slapping on the back of his backpack. You know what I mean? What is this?
Well, at least from my own experience, that there is very rampant anti-Semitism in the United States, at least.
That's your experience?
That has been my experience.
Are you Jewish?
I'm half Jewish, but it's not necessarily that it's directed at me, but people growing up, slurs against other races aren't tolerated, but slurs against Jews I would hear pretty regularly, lots of Jew jokes.
Let me tell you something, okay? Norm's about to be like, I say slurs all the time towards all the races. You are wrong. I don't know if I agree with this guy being like slurs against other races are not tolerated as opposed to slurs against Jews.
I don't agree with that at all. First of all, there was an era in which one calculated anti-Semitism not by a person's thoughts, because you can't control a person's thoughts. And even you can't control your thoughts. And even you probably can't figure out what's your quote-unquote real motive for whatever you do. Are you interviewing me now because of a sincere inquiry into the life of the mind? Or does it have an egotistical component? Or does it go back to something your mother said when you were 5 years old? You know, the human psyche is very complicated, and it's not susceptible to easy analysis or control. So there was an era where nobody ever thought about those things. When you talked about anti-Semitism, it meant, does it affect your job opportunities?
Yeah.
Does it affect your access to higher?
And there was definitely an era for Jews in the West where this was an impact. This played a role. Like this played a role in Jews getting jobs. Like there was material harm at the systemic level. When you erode the systemic aspect of discrimination, and this comes along with like Jews being perceived as white, because that's what it is at the end of the day. And there are obviously non-white Jews as well, but they receive discrimination on the basis of their other identity and not on the basis of them being Jewish.
Certain institutions of higher education. Does it affect where you're going to live? Does it affect negatively your interactions with the law? That's what anti-Semitism meant.
Yeah.
They were quantifiable, palpable, lucid expressions of this phobia, whatever you want to call anti-Semitism, okay? By that reckoning, can you name me a place in the United States where a Jew would have trouble purchasing a home or renting an apartment? Name me one place. I'd be curious. Can you name me one university, one college, one in the whole United States where a Jew would have trouble getting in because he or she was Jewish? One. Could you name me one profession? Does the medical?
Like the same could even be said for the Irish. The same could be said for Italians. Like there was a historic period of time when Irish and Italian people were discriminated against on the basis of their ethnic background or the basis of their nationality. And then they were basically bracketed under the white category, right? And the same goes for Jews in general. There's still more discrimination towards Jews as a historically marginalized identity than like Italians and the Irish. So even in contemporary examples, like there's still a more resilient form of discrimination that is specifically directed towards Jews. I guess because of the historical impact of anti-Semitism and how anti-Semitism is the canary in the coal mine of fascism, how like Jews being singled out has led to genuine pogroms and the Holocaust as well. So it's more complicated than that, right? Like I'm not saying it's the same as like, okay, Jews are just like the Irish, they're white now. It's not like the same marginalization. There is a little bit of a difference there. But when you compare it to like black people historically and in contemporary society, like that's when you develop a better understanding of like systemic discrimination versus hurting someone's feelings or being rude to them and like being scary to them, right? So the stand up that Jew hatred ad has this impact of basically neutralizing all of that, or just like equalizing all of those different forms of racism, and it robs the systemic component of its significance.
Profession discriminate against Jews? There's a legal profession. I mean, that was once a problem. That's why Jewish law firms are created, because they couldn't get into the white shoe WASP law firms. Does that exist anymore? So this is just completely and totally.
I mean, low key, like part of the reason why there's Jews that are dominant in the field of law and in Hollywood is part of the historic discrimination that they experienced elsewhere. Like that's literally it. That's the whole point. They were excluded, so they chose alternative sectors where they could like create their own products, create their own goods and services. So that's what I mean when I talk about like systemic discrimination. And because the overall like domineering attitude is that Jews are doing all right in general, you know what I mean? Like that's what Americans think. They're doing all right in general. When this kind of conversation takes place, most Americans think any kind of instance of reminding people that racism exists is frustrating for them. But it's doubly frustrating when it's a subgroup that is a part of the white group in general in the eyes of many people, and on top of that has the association with like being financially successful to begin with. So they go extra fucking, they get extra annoyed when they see this. The more Jewish supremacist state slaughters Palestinians, the more Jewish supremacist billionaires will be funding condescending, self-victimizing ads like this. The sticky note ad may not stick the landing on stopping Jew hate. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft will be taking on more than just the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday Night Super Bowl. New ad from Kraft's Blue Square Alliance Against Hate will beam to millions of homes. Yeah. They need to pull the plug on this ad, bro. This is going to lead to more, this is going to backfire. So much love and respect for Robert Kraft, but it's almost impossible to imagine a more R-worded ad than this from editor-at-large at Tablet Magazine. First off, let's do the same thing we did last year to make sure you understand we have no creativity left. Second of all, let's make the call to action posting a BLM-like bullshit square because that's what serious people do. Third of all, let's make sure the story we tell is of a dweeby Jew getting gallantly rescued by a cool black dude. If I had $10 million to spend on a Super Bowl ad, I'd just show a bunch of exploding beepers, dead Hamas and Hezbollah leaders, hot Israeli girls with guns. Oh my God. The first 2 points, I was like, okay, where is he going? And then he hit the dweeby Jew, and I was like, oh, this guy is Israel poisoned. This is the most Israeli tweet you can actually find. I don't know if Liel Leibovitz is living in the United States of America, but spiritually, his mind is in Israel. Because this notion that like, in order to make Jews look cool, you got to show how militant we are, militant Jews. Like, that is the most spiritually and mentally Israeli. The muscular Jew narrative is the most spiritually and mentally Israeli thing you can do. I would go so far as to say, if you wanted to like promote Jews in America, just show Jewish contributions to the field of arts, academia, sciences. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, yeah, no, you don't understand. We're fucking Jews. We kill Arabs, dude. Come on. Like, what the This is an Israeli invention. Caption, fuck around and find out. But hey, why go with Jewish power and pride when quivering victimhood mixed with the worst of social media clicktivism is exactly what some committee of overpaid PR pros and professional Jewish org types thought would work wonders. I'm telling you, this is the Israeli mindset. The idea that like Jews were dominated with pogroms and Jews were dominated with the Holocaust because they were weak and feeble, and no longer will they ever be weak and feeble. They're actually, they're going to overcome it with military might. That's literally the Israeli mindset. True. I definitely think an ad showing dead bodies with fuck around and find out is the way to go. See, Brace had the same opinion. Yeah, this guy is delusional, okay? This guy's ideal message of countering anti-Semitism is a straight up threat against the entire world on behalf of Jews aired during the Super Bowl. Great job, guys. Keep it up.